Yes, today we are gonna deal with the chapter in human health and disease. I promised this lecture before, but due to some reasons, I was not able to clear it on the correct time, and I deeply apologize for that. And yes, let's start with our human health and disease. And yes, I will be just studying this up to malaria part. And okay, we will get to this with a very good way. I hope you will like it. And yes, just let me know if I do make any mistakes. Thank you so much. Let's start now. So okay, that's simple. And yes, you can also bring your essentials with you so that I don't have to just gather for time to time. And yeah, let's start with the drinking of water. Okay, so let's start. So we are starting with the human health and disease. So health for a long time. I'm just reading NCERT and would also have a difference with the copy whenever you need it. Okay. So health for a long time was considered as a state of body and mind where there was a balance of certain humors. This is what Greeks like Hippocrates as well as Indian Ayurveda system of medicine asserted. It was thought that persons with black bile belonged to hot personality and would have fevers. This idea was arrived at by pure reflective thought. The discovery of the blood circulation by William Harvey using experimental method and the demonstration of the normal body temperature in the person with black bile using thermometer disproved the good humor hypothesis of health. In later years, biology stated that mind influences through no neural system and endocrine system our immune system, and that our immune system maintains our health. Hence, mind and mental state can affect our health. Of course, health is affected by genetic disorders, deficiencies with which a child is born, and deficiencies, defects with the child inherits from the parents from birth, infections and lifestyle, including food and water we take, rest and exercise we give to our bodies, habits that we have or lack, etc. So, by this, I got to conclude that the health is very necessary to be maintained. And initially, it was thought that there was some kind of special kind of fluid and it was named as humor. So, good humor hypothesis tells that if the certain fluids in our body, if they're in the correct amount in our body, then our body would be called healthy. But it was not like that, because it was said that if the black bile would be more, then the person will have a hot personality. Here, hot personality not means what the modern means. Always take it as hot personality means always having a fever. But it was not true, because when the person with black bile was measured with a thermometer, when it was discovered, we found that it was not showing high temperature. It was a normal temperature with a person having high black bile. So obviously it doesn't depend. So it was concluded that the mind and the neuromental state, it affects the neural system and the endocrine system, and these both act on the immune system, and the immune system also acts on maintaining our health. And our health is affected by genetic disorders, infections, and our lifestyle too. Means lifestyle, having good exercise, good health, and good environment, the sanitation we have to maintain. So these all things affect the health. And yes, the one more thing that we have to keep in mind is the discovery of blood circulation was done by William Harvey. So would you like that we note down the important points, jot down that? Okay, so we do so. I have a piece of paper with me. You could also bring yours, and yes, it would help. Because scratching on the new information with when we have a lot line of syllabus would help us like so days. And obviously we'll include the important points only, and the first of them is that discovery of blood circulation was done by William Harvey. Okay, these facts would be noted only. The term health is very frequently used by everybody, but how do we define it? Health does not simply mean absence of disease or physical fitness. It could be defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. When people are healthy, they are more efficient at work. This increases the productivity and brings the economic prosperity. Health also increases the longevity of people and reduces the infant and maternal mortality. Balanced diet, personal hygiene, and regular exercise are very important to maintain a good health. Yoga has been practiced since time immemorial to achieve physical and mental health, awareness about diseases and their effects on different bodily functions, vaccination, immunization against infectious diseases, proper disposal of waste, control of vectors, and maintenance of hygiene in food and water resources are necessary for achieving a good health. When the functioning of one or more organs or system of the body is adversely affected, characterized with the appearance of various signs and symptoms, we say that we are not healthy. That is, we have a disease. Diseases can be broadly grouped into two: infectious and non infectious. Diseases which are easily transmitted from one person to another are called as infectious diseases. The infectious diseases are very common and every one of us suffers from these at some time or other. Some of these infectious diseases like AIDS are fatal. Among non-infectious diseases, cancer is a major cause of death and drug and alcohol abuse also affect our health adversely. Okay, by this all paragraph, I concluded what is health first of all. So it's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. And when people are healthy, obviously they are more productive and more efficient at the work. Balanced and personal hygiene also important. And yoga and knowledge about the things, vaccination, proper disposal of waste, all these things are necessary for maintaining a good health, maintaining our hygiene. And when the functioning of one of them is infected, so we say that it's a disease kind of, and when it's infectious, non-infectious, which easily transmit from one person to another, it's infectious disease. Obviously we know that this kind of disease is communicable disease, but yeah, it is considered as infectious disease. So okay, so what is infectious disease actually? The pathogen entry, rapid multiplication of it affect the normal functioning and alcohol infectious disease, right? And when we have to note down one thing that very common, very important. Some of the infectious disease like AIDS are fatal and some non-infectious disease. Means AIDS is an infectious disease and is fatal, and cancer is a non-infectious disease but it is also fatal. So fatal infectious disease is AIDS, and fatal means killing, means life taking. Non-infectious disease is cancer. And drug and alcohol also abuse our body in a way because it affects our body adversely. In this, I will not be covering AIDS, cancer, and drug, alcohol, and abuse. These won't be covered in this video, but have to wait for it. And if you really want it, just let me know, because in my test, this chapters are not coming, and obviously I'm just gases. I'm really sorry for it. Common diseases in humans. A wider range of organisms belonging to bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoans, helminths, etc. could cause diseases in man. Such a disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. So, a wide range of organisms belonging to bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoans, helminths, etc. could cause diseases in a man. Man means human. Not like that. Oh man, every disease when occurring in women too. Why it's not discrimination? Here, it's a human body. So yeah, it's kind of understand probability cards, but obviously not if you are having brain. Such disease-causing organisms are called pathogens. Most parasites are therefore pathogens as they cause harm to the host by living in or on them. The pathogens can enter our body by various means, multiply, and interfere with the normal vital activities, resulting in the morphological and functional damage. Yeah, sorry for the disruption. Pathogens have to adapt to life within the environment of the host. For example, the pathogens that enter the gut must know a way of surviving in the stomach at low pH and resisting the various digestive enzymes. A few representative members from different groups of pathogenic forms are discussed here along with the diseases caused by them. Preventive and control measures against these diseases in general are also briefly described. So when we talk of this pathogen, it's not that strong that the pH is so low, acid is acting, this enzymes is acting, and it's still there, right? So obviously it has to adapt itself, it has to make itself like that. So just consider ourselves as a bacteria, because we also go in adverse environments. Sorry for the noise. So yeah, we also go in the adverse environments, and we also have to adapt there. So we are also acting like bacteria in some cases. No offense. Okay, so Salmonella typhi is a pathogenic bacteria which causes typhoid fever in human beings, obviously human beings, or what? हाँ means ठीक है. Salmonella typhi is a pathogenic bacteria which causes typhoid fever in human beings. I would like to have a highlighter so you people have to wait forward. So yeah, so tell me which one causes typhoid? Salmonella typhi, you are correct. So it's a pathogenic bacterium. It's a bacterium, Salmonella typhi causes the typhoid. These pathogens generally enter the small intestine through food and water contaminated with them. Means they enter through food and water contaminated means the part water and food that gets affected with this bacteria. We get this bacteria from any place. And typhoid malarias malary, okay, with them and migrate to other organs through food, blood, sustain high fever, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache, and loss of appetite are some of the common symptoms of this disease. So high fever, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache, loss of appetite means bhook na lagna is loss of appetite. Some common symptoms of this disease: intestinal perforation and death may occur in severe cases. And when the cases get very severe, so intestinal perforation, I guess you all know it, but still I will tell you, intestinal perforation means having a hole in the intestine. And yes, it would occur if the cases are severe in this case, because many diseases like are so dangerous. So it's good to be healthy. Why the doctors are always choosy in having the places of food they eat? It's because this bacteria are so like present in every place almost. So we have to be careful about ourselves and how we deal with the food around us. Intestinal perforation and death may occur in several cases, severe cases. Typhoid fever could be confirmed by vital tests. Okay, so yeah, for testing typhoid, have the vital test. I hope you people never get rid of it. Be healthy, be safe, and keep everybody safe. And yes, fever could be confirmed by vital test. A classic case in medicine, that of Mary Mellon, nicknamed Typhoid Mary, is worth mentioning here because she was a cook and by profession was typhoid carrier who continued to spread typhoid for several years and through the food she prepared. Obviously, she was a worker. She cooked many kind of food. She must have tasted with a spoon and all. And obviously, this bacteria is present of contaminated food and contaminated food and contaminated water. So why you're thinking that if this person has died, why she didn't die? How this spread to so many person for several years? It's because she was a carrier. She was not affected by it. Okay. So yeah, bacteria like Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenza. I guess you people are much and much intelligent and must have guessed which disease I'm talking about. Yeah, it's pneumonia. So, bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenza are responsible for the disease pneumonia in humans, which affects the alveoli of the lungs. They affect the alveoli airflow sacs of the lungs. Okay, this is the major reason they affect. As a result of this infection, the alveoli gets filled with fluid, leading to several problems in respiration. The symptoms of pneumonia include fever, chills, cough, headache, and in severe cases, the lips and fungal trace may turn gray to bluish in color. And obviously, it occurs because when we have the alveoli filled with fluid, and obviously the blood transmission would not be that easy in that case, and obviously the blood is not transferred, so obviously that would start turning to bluish in color, because whenever you just hold the blood here, you will see like after some time it's start getting bluish out. A healthy person acquires infection by inhaling the droplets, aerosols released by an infected person, even by sharing glasses and utensils with the infected person. ठीक है, तो एक हेल्दी पर्सन से कैसे होगा, तो ये ड्रॉपलेट इन्फेक्शन होता है रिलीज बाय एनी इन्फेक्टेड बाय शेयरिंग ग्लासेस, यूटेंसिल्स या कुछ भी. ठीक है, डिसेंट्री, प्लेग एंड डिथीरिया सम ऑफ द अदर बैक्टीरियल डिजीज इन मैन. डिसेंट्री हो गया, प्लेग हो गया, वो भी हमारे क्या बैक्टीरियल डिजीज होते हैं मैन में. Okay, so it's, I guess this book is not discussing about the dysentery and all. What I would like to discuss with you people. Let's get back to the notes, okay? And obviously these all things are means not the NCR, means this topic is taught by my teachers, and obviously I'm just delivering it to people. Okay, so fine, we are getting to which all diseases it's in. First is dysentery. So in dysentery, it's related with the Shigella dysentery. So it's a bacteria in this case. Shigella dysentery, and that's why the dysentery is also known as shigellosis. And yes, this is a fecal oral route. Bacteria is Shigella dysentery, and it's spread through fecal oral route, and symptoms are abdominal pain and stool with blood and mucus. And diagnosis test is stool test, treatment is antibiotics. So stool with blood and mucus, abdominal pain, and test is stool test. Treatment antibiotic. The next one is plague. So plague is also known as black death, because in the previous generations many people died out of it, and there was so much deaths that people even start getting bluish over the period of time, and obviously were not received, and yeah, that caused the cases. And yeah, this was hair receptors. Yersinia pestis, so. So in this case, this is about dysentery. Now about plague, when we see, so it's caused by Yersinia pestis, contaminated food and water. Contaminated food and water, high grade fever, and enlargement of axillary lymph nodes, and it's called a bubes, and that's why it's known as a bubonic plague. And next is about diphtheria. So diphtheria is caused by Corynebacterium diphtheria. It's a droplet infection, and symptoms are like fever only, throat infection, and suffocation. And this is also known as the gulkotu, because it's in diphtheria we feels like someone is choking us, and yeah. And its diagnosis test is Schick test. One was stool test, here Schick test, and yes, we studied about dysentery, plague, and diphtheria. Thank you for getting all of them for us. Let's have some water. Many viruses also cause diseases in human beings. Rhinoviruses represent one such group of viruses which causes one of the most infectious human ailments, the common cold. So yeah, rhinovirus is responsible for the common cold you people always have. is one of the most infectious human ailments. They infect the nose and respiratory passages, but not the lungs. ठीक है, वो नोज को इफेक्ट करते हैं, रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट में, बट लंग्स को इफेक्ट नहीं करते हैं. द कॉमन कोड इज करेक्टेड बाय नेजल कंजेशन एंड डिस्चार्ज मीन्स नाक बहना, नाक जाम हो जाना, एंड सोर थ्रोट, hoarseness, cough, headache, and tiredness. So देखो, कॉमन कोल्ड सबको होता है, आपको भी होता है, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बिकॉज इसके लिए जो इम्यूनिटी बनती है वो सिर्फ एक वीक के लिए बनती है. तो इट्स नॉर्मल दैट यू आर गेटिंग कोल्ड एवरीवेयर. या इट्स लाइक दैट. ओके, it usually lasts for 3 to 7 days, so no problem, see, because it doesn't affect the lungs, so obviously you are safe. Droplets resulting from cough or sneezes of an infected person either inhaled directly or transmitted through contaminated objects such as pens. So वो तो मैं क्या कहता है, droplets जो होते हैं resulting from cough or sneezes of an infected person, जो हमारे ड्रॉपलेट्स होते हैं जो रिजल्ट करते हैं कफ और स्नीजेस ऑफ इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन आर इनहेल डायरेक्टली और ट्रांसमिटेड थ्रू कंटेमिनेटेड ऑब्जेक्ट्स लाइक सच एज पेन्स, बुक्स, कप्स, डोर नॉब्स, कंप्यूटर कीबोर्ड और माउस एंड कॉज इन्फेक्शन. देखो जैसे कि कोई इंसान क्या कहते हैं कंप्यूटर यूज़ कर रहा है, फिर वो छींका, तो उस केस में ऐसा होगा कि उसके जो ड्रॉपलेट्स होंगे वो ऑब्वियसली ट्रांसफर्ड हो गए होंगे, तो वो भी हमारे क्या कहते हैं इन्फेक्शन कॉज करेंगे. सो द ह्यूमन डिजीजेस आर कॉज बाय प्रोटोजोअन्स टू. यू माइट हैव हर्ड अबाउट मलेरिया, अ डिजीज मैन हैज़ बीन फाइटिंग सिंस मैनी ईयर्स. So malaria is caused by protozoan, and yeah, Plasmodium, a tiny protozoan, is responsible for this disease. Different species of Plasmodium means P, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium falciparum are responsible for different types of malaria. One of these may cause by Plasmodium means most common is Plasmodium vivax, but the most dangerous one is Plasmodium falciparum. Okay, so Plasmodium falciparum is most dangerous kind, because its infection causes that and that kind of thing. So yeah, just take a glance at the life cycle of Plasmodium. Plasmodium enters the human body as sporozoites. Okay, so yeah, Plasmodium enters the human body. तो देखो अब हम इसे किसी मूवी की तरह देखने जा रहे हैं, because I'm getting bored listening to that. I don't want you people to get that. Okay, तो ऐसा होता है, फिल्म हमारी स्टार्ट होती है हमारी विलन की एंट्री सबसे पहले. एंड हु इज दैट विलन? इट्स प्लाज्मोडियम स्पोरोजॉइट्स दैट वी कॉल. रिमेंबर द नेम ऑफ द हीरो, स्पोरोजॉइट्स. ठीक है, इन्फेक्शियस फॉर्म में थ्रू द बाइट ऑफ इन्फेक्टेड फीमेल एनोफिलिस मॉस्किटो. ऑब्वियसली द फीमेल आर मोस्ट ऑब्वियस, नो ऑफेंस, females are vicious, so female anopheles mosquito infected the Plasmodium in us, and it has sporozoites. Come kiss me and bite me. I don't know if you heard that song, but that's a good one. The parasites initially multiply within the liver cell and then attack the red blood cells, resulting in the rupture of RBC cells with the release of toxic substances, hemojoin, responsible for the chill and high fever. Recurring every 3 to 4 days. When a female anopheles mosquito bites an infected person, these parasites enter the mosquito's body and undergo the further development. The parasites multiply within these them to form the spores that are stored in the salivary glands. When this mosquito bites human, the spores are introduced into his or her body, thereby indicating the even mentioned above. It is interesting to note that the malaria parasite requires two hosts, human and mosquito, to complete its life cycle. So it is a diagnostic parasite. The female anopheles mosquito is the vector. So by this, I will tell you the life cycle. See, तो पहले हीरो की एंट्री हुई, डेट्स स्पोरोजॉइट. इसने इंजेक्ट किया, फीमेल मॉस्किटो आई, उसने देखो ये है हमारा मॉस्किटो, फीमेल मॉस्किटो आई, उसने हमें क्या कहते हैं काटा. अब इसने जो काटा, इसके अंदर क्या था? इसके अंदर था हमारा प्लाज्मोडियम. अभी जो प्लाज्मोडियम था हमारा, तो उसमें थे स्पोरोजॉइड्स। अब ये स्पोरोजॉइड जाएंगे पहले लिवर में, और लिवर में जाके ये करेंगे असेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन करेंगे। असेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन करने के वजह से उन्होंने अपने आप को मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, फिर लिवर्स के सेल्स को बर्स्ट करके बाहर आएंगे, फिर हमारे आरबीसी में जाएंगे, फिर वहाँ पर रेप्लिकेट करेंगे, फिर बर्स्ट करके बाहर जाएंगे। तो जब ये आरबीसी टूटेंगे तो उसमें हीमोजॉइन फैक्टर रिलीज होगा। हीमोजॉइन की वजह से हम लोग को चिल ठंडी ठंडी लगती है, कभी कभी लग के हमें बुखार आता है, बहुत तेज़ बुखार आता है मलेरिया में, ठीक है। अब जैसे उसने हमें कहता होता है, जब वो ऐसा हो गया, अब क्या करेंगे, वो जाके हमारा क्या करेगा, सेक्सुअल प्रोडक्शन करेगा, ठीक है, आरबीसी में ही। तो सेक्सुअल प्रोडक्शन करने के बाद में फिर वो कहते फीमेल और मेल गैमेटोसाइट बनाएगा। फीमेल और मेल गैमेटोसाइट बनाने के बाद फिर से अगर जो मॉस्किटोज ने आके फिर से हमें काट लिया, अब हम तो इन्फेक्टेड हैं पहले से ही, उसने हमें काटा तो उसके अंदर फिर से चला गया, तो वो फीमेल और मेल गैमेटोसाइट जो है उसकी बॉडी में जाके जाइगोट फॉर्म करेंगे, मीन्स उनका फ्यूजन होगा किसके, गट ऑफ मॉस्किटो में, हमारे गट में नहीं, मॉस्किटो के गट में दोनों का फ्यूजन होगा, फिर से स्पोरोजॉइड्स प्रोड्यूस होंगे, एंड फिर से जाकर किसी के काटेगा, फिर से वो इन्फेक्ट हो जाएगा द अनदर पर्सन, ठीक है। तो व्हेन द मॉस्किटो बाइट्स अनदर ह्यूमन, स्पोरोजॉइड्स इंसेक्ट, parasites project reach the liver through the blood. Parasites reproduce asexually in liver cells, bursting the cell and introducing into the blood. And parasites reproduce asexually in the red blood cells, bursting the red blood cells and causing the cycles of fever and other symptoms. Release parasites infect the new red blood cells. And after 6 stages, gametocytes develop in the red blood cells. Gametocytes, female must critique of the gametocytes with the blood meal, and fertilization development takes place in the mosquito's gut. And mature infected stages means they escape from the gut and migrate into the mosquito's salivary gland. Means after the fusion and the zygotes from the missile spores from they would just not remain in the gut. They would go to the salivary glands of the mosquito, and obviously the mosquito will bite again the another person and to get infected by the plasmodium. Okay, and so you get to my point that yeah, we were noting the important points now. You didn't remind me of that. Okay, so we have noted till that the fatal non-infectious disease is cancer. After it, we will note about that salmonella typhus, a bacteria which causes typhoid. It's a small intestine and known by viral test. Then after that we have another bacteria, that's a Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. This is also a bacteria and it causes pneumonia. And in this case, severe case of typhoid intestinal perforation, and in severe case of here, what can occur? Lips and finger nails gray to bluish. Now next is virus. So rhinovirus cause common cold, and it's the most infectious human ailments. Now we have next protozoan malaria plasmodium. So plasmodium protozoan cause malaria. And malignant malaria caused by plasmodium falciparum. And what is hemojoin? Tell me. It's a toxic substance which gives us fever with high chills. Chills is not that chill, and I hope after hearing this you will have no chill. Chill, bro, you don't have malaria. Zoan. Toxic. Toxic. Hemozoin toxic. And yeah, most common plasmodium is Plasmodium vivax. So there are three kinds of plasmodium we have studied. One is Plasmodium falciparum, another is Plasmodium vivax, and one other is Plasmodium malaria. ठीक है. This is all. Now let's move to next. It's Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan parasite. So again, it is caused by protozoan in the large intestine of human, which causes amoebiasis. So Entamoeba histolytica, protozoan parasite in the large intestine, causes amoebiasis, means amoebic dysentery. Symptoms of this disease include constipation, abdominal pain, means constipation would occur, abdominal pain will occur, cramps will occur, stools with excess mucus and blood clots. Housefly acts as a mechanical carriers and serve to transmit from feces of infected person to food and food products, thereby contaminating them. So drinking water and food contaminated by the fecal matter are the main source of infection. So obviously you have, if you are if you are really you know, if you've been with a person who is so much concerned about their eating habits, so you have seen that they would just ignore or avoid taking food from a shop having so much of houseflies. Why is that so? Because that person is educated. Because it's always said that housefly acts as a mechanical carrier. You know, this is so, you just imagine a stool with blood and mucus. Disgusting, right? Because the housefly would be acting as a carrier and they would sit on some of the feces and which is having Entamoeba histolytica. They carry with them, sit on our food, contaminate that, and we eat it. Literally, ew, yuck, right? So, maintain your hygiene by being concerned towards your environment, be aware of what you are eating, and yes, control yourself from having like dirty food. Okay, so Ascaris, the common roundworm, and Wuchereria, the floral worm, are some of the helminths which are known to be pathogenic to man. So Ascaris, the common roundworm, or Wuchereria, the floral worm, are some of the helminths which are pathogenic to man. Ascaris, an intestinal parasite, causes ascariasis. Symptoms of this disease include internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, blockage of intestinal passage. The eggs of the parasite are excreted along with the feces of the infected persons, which contaminate the soil, water, plants, etc. A healthy person acquires this infection through contaminated water, vegetables, and fruits. Because these have eggs of ascariasis. Wuchereria, the floral worms, causes slowly developing chronic inflammation of the organs in which they live for many years. So Wuchereria causes chronic inflammation in which they live for many years. Usually the lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs. The disease is called elephantiasis or filariasis. The genital organs are also often affected, resulting in the gross deformities. The pathogens are transmitted to healthy persons through a bite by the female mosquito vectors. So one is spread through the egg and other is spread through the bite of female vector. Many fungi belonging to the genera Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton are responsible for the ringworms, which is one of the most common infectious diseases in man. And in all the cases, this man are human beings, means both male and female. So genera, we must know the genera: so Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton. Let me know Microsporum, Epidermophyton, and Trichophyton. Trichoepidermophyton, Epidermophyton, Trichophyton. So appearance of dry scaly lesions. Appearance of dry, scaly lesions of various parts of the body, such as skin, nails, and scalp, are the main symptoms of the disease. Appearance of dry, scaly lesions of various parts of such as skin, nails, and scalp are the main symptoms of the disease. These lesions are accompanied by intense itching. These lesions are accompanied by the intense itching. Heat and moisture help these fungi to grow, which makes them thrive in skin for such as those in the groin or between the toes. Ringworms are generally acquired from soil or by using towels, cloths, or even of the infected individuals. So why is it avoided that you don't use a towel of another person? Why? It's because if the person is having any kind of skin disease or infection, it will be transmitted to you too. So if you don't want to get a ringworm from any other person, stop using towel, gum, and all the things of other person, because have them for yourself, right? Maintenance of personal and public hygiene is very important for prevention and control of many infectious disease. So sometimes it's like personal hygiene, but we also have to take care of the public hygiene, because if it's not the public hygiene, the personal hygiene also not meeting. Because you think na yourself that outside you and around you all the person infected, how can you be a non-infecting person? It will also get transmitted to you eventually, right? It will occur. So public hygiene are also necessary. So maintenance of personal and public hygiene. So yeah. So we are talking about that the maintenance of public and personal hygiene is very important for prevention and control of many infectious disease. Measures for personal hygiene include keeping the body clean, consumption of clean drinking water, food, vegetables, fruits, etc. Public hygiene includes the proper disposal of the waste and excreta, periodic cleaning and disinfections of the water reservoirs, pools, cesspools, and tanks, and observing standard practices of hygiene in public catering. These measures are particularly essential where the infectious agents are transmitted through food and water, such as typhoid, amoebiasis, and escheriasis. Because obviously we have seen the typhoid is spread by contaminated food and water. Then amoebiasis, the same way with dysentery, would be spread by the housefly acting as a vector, as it was seeking the feces and setting on the food. And obviously escheriasis would be spread with the acid that was present in the soil, fruits, vegetables, and all. So for that, the public hygiene should be maintained. In cases of airborne disease such as pneumonia and common cold, airborne disease not means like it's born in the air. It's not like that. It's like that. This is transmitted through the air, because through the aerosol, through the droplet infection it's the cause. Because if we sneeze or it's like that. So the pneumonia and the common cold will spread in that way. Because pneumonia is caused by what we say Haemophilus influenza, alright, and Streptococcus pneumoniae. So when it's looking like that, so then the droplet infection would getting spread in the air. So obviously, if we just send candles, so it would go, the pathogen would go in our body too and replicate there. So it's like that in the case. I hope I'm not missing any point. And it would like to get to fluid filling of the lungs in the case of pneumonia. And the common cold is caused by rhinovirus. And obviously for that also it's a droplet infection. It's the most infectious human element, so it will get in the mind. And obviously it has all. Okay. In addition to the above measures, close contact with infected persons or their belongings should be avoided. So it's like that, okay, you're mentioning everything, but you are going to a person. Oh, you are having a common cold. Oh, you are having a pneumonia. Oh, you are having ascaris. Go to that person and get infected by yourself. Okay, so you avoid being that. See, whenever you're caring about a person, it's not meant to go near them and just always take care of them. You have to take care of yourselves too, because if the person is getting more exposure to bacteria, because if you go inside you also replicate that, you also transmit this. It's most essential is that you get to know what's important and how to deal with the situation. For diseases such as malaria and filariasis that are transmitted through insect vectors. So for diseases such as malaria and filariasis that are transmitted through insect vectors, because as we see the filariasis that the Wucheria worm gets inside through the female mosquito vectors, right, and it causes the elephantiasis or filariasis or chronic inflammation. And malaria also progerin, so these are mosquito vectors that's transmitted through insect vectors. The most important measure is to control or eliminate the vectors or eliminate the vectors in their breeding places. So obviously by taking a measure of not eliminating water, so the mosquito wouldn't be born much, so obviously the disease would be less spread. So yeah, so we have to eliminate the vectors by these things. This can be achieved by avoiding the stagnation of the water in ground around estuary areas, regular cleaning of the household coolers, use of mosquito nets, introducing fish like gambusia in ponds that feed on mosquito larvae, spraying of insecticides in ditches, drainage areas and swamps. In addition, doors and windows should be provided with wire mesh to prevent the entry of mosquitoes. Such precautions have become more important, especially in light of recently widespread incidences of the vector-borne AIDS mosquito disease like dengue and chikungunya in many parts of India. The advancements made in biological science have armed us to effectively deal with many infectious diseases. The use of vaccines and immunization programs have enabled us to completely eradicate a deadly disease like smallpox. A large number of other infectious diseases like polio, diphtheria, pneumonia, tetanus have been controlled to a large extent by use of vaccines. Biotechnology, about which you will learn in chapter 10, is the verge of making available newer and safer vaccines. Discovery of antibiotics and various other drugs has also enabled us to effectively treat infectious disease. So obviously in this all the paragraph it's just first told about the how to prevent that mosquito larva breeding, and the next we have told about the different kinds of disease and the prevention that is government is having by vaccination, immunization programs and all. So next we are talking about the immunity. So in that immunity we have innate immunity, acquired immunity, active and passive immunity, vaccination, immunization, then allergies, autoimmunity and immune system of the body. These are topics we have to go through. So let's first go through the infection. All infections. I guess there are many kinds of topics missing. Means I have our teacher told us extra in that place, or maybe they are part of any other thing. Interesting. Okay, first we have to go through that point and all. So okay, so typhoid's already learned about it. Viral test is important. Pneumonia, trade. Dysentery, digital dysentery, abdominal pain. Plague, Black Death, Yersinia pestis, Xenophilus tuberculosis, hydrogen. Diphtheria, cornea, bacterium, droplet infection, fever, throat infection, suffocation, sickness, cornea, bacterium, diphtheria, tetanus, Clostridium tetani, Restidine, indosphore symptoms, sustained muscular contractions. So in tetanus, what occurs actually could be obsterosis, spasm, ricicus, rhodonicus muscles, spasm. So yeah, in that case it occurs like that. And viral disease, common cold, so most infectious human element. So pathogen is rhinovirus, and infection upper respiratory tract, symptoms nasal congestion, cough, hoarseness, dryness, throat. And chikungunya virus is a single stranded RNA. Vector is AIDS aegypti, and symptoms are high fever, frontal headache, joint pain, and lymphoadenopathy, means swelling of the lymph nodes occurs in chikungunya. And when we talk about the axillary lymph nodes, it's about what we say, it's about the plague. Dengue is a flavio arbovirus, the single stranded RNA 2, and the vector of it is AIDS. And symptoms high fever, frontal headache, joint pain, and break bone fever, and blood platelets count gets decreased in the case of the dengue. And chikungunya, which also seems the same because it also caused by the AIDS factor, AIDS mosquito. But in that we have our having lymphoadenopathy, means the swelling of the lymph nodes. But here we are having a break bone fever, means like a bone is like sensible of breaking because it's very kind of like that. Hepatitis B, HBV, is a double stranded DNA, and most infectious reason STP, parental loose sexual mother to fetus, prophylaxis is recombinant DNA vaccine for the hepatitis B. In protozoa, we have amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery, entamoeba histologica, parasite of the large intestine. Parasite of the large intestine. Carrier is housefly, ammonia contributed to food and water. Symptom is abdominal pain, constipation, stool with blood and mucus. Helminthic, we have ascariasis, pathogen ascariasis, parasite of intestine. Most all present fecal metaga of ascariasis food is coming to food and water, internal bleeding, muscular pain. Many muscular pain, anemia, fever, blockage of intestinal passages. Also, this is the case of ascariasis, which is the parasite of the intestine. Filariasis lymphatic, which is Wucheria bancrofti or Wucheria malayi. So, it's a female Culex mosquito is the main vector of that, and chronic inflammation of the lymphatic vessels, the lower limbs, and causes the elephantiasis means elephantiasis means the limbs look like elephant's legs. Now fungal, we have ringworms. The most common infectious disease in human pathogen genus are Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton. Class found on rice release in intense lesion redness and hydromotion increase. Now talking about the malaria, we have protozoan disease. It's in Plasmodium, and the India most common is Plasmodium vivax, and most fatal one is malignant malaria, which is called Plasmodium falciparum. Vector is female Anopheles mosquito. Vector is female Anopheles mosquito. So AIDS mosquito causes the dengue and chikungunya, but the female Anopheles mosquito causes the malaria. And when we talk about the female Culex mosquitoes, it is cared for the Wucheria, which causes chronic inflammation of the lymphatic vessels, and yes, it's related to like of the lower limbs. So it will cause a filariasis, which is also known as elephantiasis. But in the case of ascaris, it's a different thing because the ascaris is the round worm, which is flies also, and the flare Wucheria bancrofti, Wucheria malayi causes the elephantiasis or the filariasis. So both ascariasis and filariasis are different. So Plasmodium is a diagnostic parasite because it requires the two hosts, human and female Anopheles, to complete its life cycle. And female Anopheles is not a parasite because it doesn't need cell, so it's not for food. Feed on the plant sap. Life cycle of Plasmodium, when we talk about the female Anopheles, bite and release spores, human blood, liver start associated with and boss liver cells present into the blood. The RBC start our sexual reproduction, rapidly multiply, and boss RBC present release enter into the new RBC, release the hemojoint fever, chills. Parasites starts sexual reproduction in RBC. Sexual reproduction in RBC occurs if female gametophile, male gametophile, female Anopheles bite again that infected persons. So female fertilization occurs in the gut of mosquitoes. The zygote forms project in gut, and it will migrate to the store in the salivary gland of the female Anopheles mosquitoes, and again the female Anopheles mosquito will bite a human person and release the spores, which is called this. So infective stage of the Plasmodium for human is sporozoid, which causes the disease by getting in the sexual reproduction when it gets in the body. So infective stage of Plasmodium for mosquito is the gametocide, which is what's actually entering inside the body. So obviously in the human case of the human, the sporozoids are entering in our body, but in the case of the mosquito, the gametocides are acting in our body. So sexual reproduction, when we talk about this, it starts with the RBC of the human and it completes in the gut of mosquito. And asexual reproduction, so obviously it's occur in the liver and the RBCs, and the fever which chills is caused due to the hemojoint, and the motile stage in Plasmodium is the sporozoid. And yes, so I'm going to set the human to gamete mosquito. The prophylaxis of that is that the fish gambusia, which is feed on mosquito larvae, or the quinone, which is the bark of chinchona tree, what is the medicine of the malaria and condition. They will be helping. So which is right, so we're not going to deal with that. And this is all the disease we have just got studied till now. And I guess the next things will be taught in the coming portion. CMS and all. We are not doing. Yeah. So next part is immunity. I guess by changing the duration of the video of this, so I guess I would have to make the next video for it. And thank you for this much, and I'm very grateful for you people to supporting me. I know there won't be anyone, but yeah, thank you so much.